What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Beyond Click and Cliff. This is a podcast where I tell you about my life experiences other than Lego. And today I got a doozy. I got some funny stories to tell you growing up. Guys, it may look like I'm a city boy, but I've been a country boy all my life. I when I was little, I was in the woods. I was out in the nature every day. And I'm gonna take you back on some fishing trips that I have done, that I've encountered, and what I experienced. So this is just a podcast where you can sit back, have some laughs with me, and you can do whatever. And while you work, build Lego, do whatever you're doing, you have me in the background, just kind of listening to me. And anyway. So here we go. Let's go ahead and get into it. Now this week's episode is fishing. When I was a kid, fishing was the thing. Growing up, there used to be a little creek called Honey Creek that ran behind my house, and I always went down there every day and fished. And, the biggest fish there, I think, is just minnows. But when I was a little kid, that's what you did. You had fun doing it, right? Right? Yeah. You fishermen out there know what I'm talking about. I don't know how many of y'all fish, but I'm telling you this story anyways. When I was a kid, my dad, me, and one of my dad's friends and his son, we were friends. They had a boat. We went fishing at the lake all the time. We always had we always had contests. Like whoever catches the most fish has to buy the other soda and candy bar on the way home. And that was the deal. So that's what we did. But there's one time, I always got skunked because I don't know if I was too fidgety in the boat or I wanted to leave my line in the water to save my life. We were using worms and I was drilling in and casting. I like the casting, so I'm more of a spinner bait kind of, or some sort of bait you can reel and cast, not just sit there and wait. But anyway, we were fishing, and I threw my bobber out there, and, like on this contest, boy, I tell you, nobody was catching a thing. So I was like, hey, I'm not going to get anything in there after you get done, but hey, here, I threw my lure out there in the water, right? Had a little bobber on there, just kind of, it was just kind of going, dude, barely, and I said, heck with it, I jerked on it, and my pole bit in half. I'm like, whoa, dude! I was reeling it. I was smiling, reeling it so hard. And the fish jumped out of the water. I mean, I'm in slow motion, like I was watching a movie. I mean, the water was flying off the fish. Slow motion, I'm telling you. I was reeling it in, reeling it in, and then I got to the boat. I no sooner got to the boat, the stupid thing fell off my hook. I was so devastated. I looked at my dad and his friend. I said, well, that was the biggest fish. And they said, you didn't get it in the boat. You didn't catch it. I was like, you all saw it on my line. I technically caught the fish, but it didn't land in the boat. So they didn't count it. Oh, I was so mad. I was devastated, man. That I was, I don't know, 7 years old, and that was my first big fish. I was excited, and they didn't say it counted because they didn't make the boat. So that went kind of down the wayside, right? Well, we do this all the time, and this boat we were in was kind of small on this part of the story. It was me, my dad, my friend, and his dad, and his sister, or my friend's sister. And this boat barely fed us. My dad was on the back, his friend was on the front, controlling the trolling motor, and us kids was in the middle trying to cast. Accident-prone Cliffy had my pole. I went back to cast, and I went to cast. I caught I got hung up on something. I'm like, what the heck is I get another hook? Then I heard a big old yelp. Look back, I caught my friend in the eye. I mean, I didn't get his eyeball, but I got his eyelid and up here. Oh, I felt so bad. And my dad looked, Clifford, what are you doing? I said, I caught him. I didn't mean to, you know. And then, of course, I got told, well, that's why you look backwards before you cast it to see if you're going to clear it. It was bad. It was bad. We had to stop the fishing trip and take him to the hospital, get a tetanus shot, and see if he needed stitches or anything like that. Luckily, he didn't need stitches. Nothing. He got the tetanus shot, but that was the worst of it. Just a couple holes in the eyelid. Man, I felt so bad. After, of course, on the way home, of course, we always stopped to get a soda and a candy bar on the way home. I gave my candy bar to him. I am so sorry. You can have my candy bar, But it was a mistake, and he knew I didn't do it on purpose. I mean, I wasn't doing it maliciously. But it was one of those funny experiences. Later in life, me and my friend, not the same one, it was a different one. We moved, and I made a new friend, and we had this creek, Spring Creek is what this creek was called. It flowed, it was pretty good. And my friend, me and him bought a boat, just a little John boat from a yard sale. Didn't know we knew it leaked because there was gunshots, holes in the side, so we knew it was going to leak and stuff. And we put duct tape on the hole, say, hey, the water we can get out, and we're not going to drown, right? Well, we got in the creek, flowed down the creek, and we know about 5 minutes we had to stop, get out, dump the water out, get back in it, and go on down the road. Every 5 minutes we got to stop. Well, we got in this patch of snakes. Everywhere you looked, there was cottonmouths there, cottonmouths there, cottonmouths there, and our boat was sinking. It was like, oh, this is not a good spot to do this. Well, we got out, real quick, empty it, got back in the boat. We were safe, right? So we grabbed our finish pole, and that son of a gun, he cast it, and the hook landed right on top of the cottonmouth, and you see his eyes get real big, and so he tried to get the hook over it, when he flipped the snake right into our boat. That was a little bit scary. We got out, I took my pole, got the snake, and flung him away. We got back in the boat, and we went on to the house. That was a scary experience, but it was fun. We camped there for like 3 nights. We caught a lot of fish. Caught a lot of perch and bluegills, and we were going to have a fish fry there on the last day. We were going to fry them up and eat them. We put them on the string, put all of our fish on the stringer. I mean, we caught at least 20 of them. We were going to have plenty of fish to eat and probably some to take home. So last night we put the fish in the stringer. We put them back on in the creek. We went in the tent, slept, got up next morning, getting ready to fry them up. We went to the stringer, pulled up nothing but fish heads. I'm looked at my friend. I said, "What happened?" Well, further investigations, we found turtles, and the turtles was eating our fish that was strung up on the line. So we didn't get fish out. We just ended up taking the fish heads off and letting nature have its way. That was a little disappointing, but all in all, still had fun growing up doing this. And then I don't know, we still went fishing, camping every year. A bunch of our friends, we had an annual camping trip every year. We'd go to the lake, we got a campsite. There'd be about 20 of us there. Every night was a festival. We did a lot of drinking and did a lot of stupid foolishness, and we'd wrestle and stuff like that. But there's one evening we used to gather at the park in the city. And this is wintertime, right? Sleet and rain. We decided, let's go camping. Like, it was supposed to freeze and rain, but yeah, we were young and dumb, so we did it anyway. We set up our tent at the lake. We made a big old bonfire, man. It was big. We were sitting around it. We were staying pretty warm, actually. Of course, there was liquor involved, and we were drinking. And I think we drank some moonshine and some other stuff that was there. But we were drinking. We were having a good time. And of course, you get drunk. You think you're bulletproof, and when somebody dares you to do something, it's an unwritten rule that you have to do it. Especially if you're drinking, liquor involved. You have to do it. So this little boy got better that he won't jump in the lake. And my guy, he took his hat off, took his he left his glasses on. And he just jumped out in the lake and dove in it, clothes and all. He didn't even strip down. And we were looking at him like, oh my gosh, here comes a hospital trip. Well, he comes dropping back up, sits by the fire, and he starts shivering cold. So we ended up just putting him in the car, and we took him back to his house and let him get warmed up. I think he just stayed home. But, yeah, this is just some fishing expeditions that we've done. I try to make them short and sweet. There's the other time where me and a different friend, we went to a creek. We were skipping school this time. And we always had shorts in the truck in case we skipped school. Went to the lake, swam in the lake. But this time we went to a creek, a little swimming creek, and there was this bridge that you could jump off because there's one big giant hole there that was 10 foot deep. And you could jump off the bridge. It's about equivalent as a high dive at a swimming pool, but just in the wild. And we were skipping school, and we were walking across the bridge, just looking around, and there was a snake in the part where people jumped. Next thing I know, my friend hauled off and jumped. He goes, I'm going to catch that snake. We all looked. Before we could even stop him or say anything, he was already off the bridge, jumping in after it. And me and my other friends said, we're yelling, we're not going to take you to the hospital when we're skipping school, you idiot. But this is the same idiot who went and fought for our country, so I appreciate him. He's a tough son. He was a tough son of a gun. I remember in grade school, he broke his arm. His arm looked like a Z. He was walking through the school to the office to go to the hospital, and he was just waving his arm around. Like it was pretty cool. I mean, he was tough as rocks, and so, yeah, he was crazy enough as it was, so it was fun. Well, oops. It takes me to another story. I got older, and this is when I was dating my wife. And my goals, I told her my goals before we got married. I had to have a house. I had to have a boat. And a good paying job. Then I'll marry you. That was the agreement. We bought the house. I had a good paying job in the fire department then, and I bought me a boat. So we got married. Took my boat a couple times to the lake. Loved it. I fished with it every weekend. It was just a aluminum modified V boat, brand new. Had a 150 horse Johnson on it. It was pretty fun. Or 75 horse Johnson. Anyway, I ain't for sure what size it was. I forgot what the motor was. But anyway, we went fishing almost every weekend on it. It was fun until, I got married, had a child. So my time on the lake was getting shorter and shorter and shorter. Well, that means, the boat sat in the shop, and of course, we had a tornado, and I saw my boat against a tree, and that was the end of the boat. And I didn't buy another one. I just didn't see it in me. Because I was busy on the fire department. I was doing a lot of classes and taking, being a husband and being a father. It just took a lot of time. It was hard to get to the lake. But we did it before. But, now we just go fishing. Me and my wife and my kid will just fish off the bank here at some ponds or there at the river. And we just have fun. I enjoy fishing. Fishing is a good hobby. I plan on doing it more when I retire because I do miss it. So when I'm not going to be doing Lego no more, I'm going to be on the water fishing, and that's what I want to do. But guys, that's it. That was my fishing experience. A couple of stories I wanted to share with y'all why I enjoyed that hobby. If you like it, please hit that like button down below. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think, and maybe consider subscribing. Maybe subscribe, and always be good to each other. Pay it forward. Remember, treat others how you want to be treated. And until next time, bye bye.